These are the reasons you keep choosing the wrong man. Hey everybody, in this video, I'm going to be talking about reasons why women keep choosing the wrong man. There are some clear patterns that emerge. Having worked with a lot of women over the last few years, I can definitely tell you there are some patterns, and that's what we're going to dive into in this video. But before we do that, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. My videos are really suppressed here on this platform, so if you've ever found one of these videos helpful, please make sure that you like it, subscribe to the channel, and of course, share them when you find them helpful. Share them with somebody that you know who could really use this information. All of those things help override the censorship. I'm Kevin Anthony, a certified sexologist and host of the Love Lab podcast. And for over a decade, I have been helping men, women, and couples identify the patterns and behaviors that are sabotaging their relationships and sex life. I have the unique ability to see the patterns that you can't see. So when you are needing help, to have the relationship that you know is possible, but just haven't been able to figure out yet, I can help you have the relationship of your dreams and the best sex of your life. All right, let's just dive right in with the first one. You don't know what you actually want. And this is something that is very interesting because I've heard this from a lot of women. The thing is, they'll often tell you, well, I think I know what I want, or they'll say they know what they want. And then when you say, okay, here's what I would like you to do. I would like you to write down a list of all the things that you want, in a man and in a relationship. And they go, I'm going to need some time. It's like, if you knew exactly what you wanted, you wouldn't need time. You'd be able to list them for me right away. And so one of the things that I've learned over the years of working with, a lot of women who are dating is that they've never really sat down to think about it. And often when they do start to give you some idea, you'll hear a lot of contradictions. Well, I want this, but I also want that. Well, and then I want this, but I also want that. What that tells me is they don't actually know what they want. If you're telling me that, you want somebody, to be monogamous, but you also want to have your freedom, to kind of move around and, maybe date other people, those two don't really actually work. You can either be monogamous or you can be some other flavor of monogamish, open relating, whatever you want to call it. So one of the first steps to attracting the right guy and not the wrong guy is to get really clear on what it is that you actually want. And that's going to take getting really honest with yourself. And don't rush it when you write that list down. Take some time, maybe meditate on it. Like, what is it? If you're really, really honest, what is it that you are wanting? Number 2, this is a big one. I see this a lot. You are unconsciously self-sabotaging. So why would somebody do that? Why would somebody continuously pick the wrong guy on purpose? Well, first of all, most of the time, they're not aware that they're doing it on purpose. And then the second thing is it's usually a strategy designed to do something. And that strategy is often designed to prevent hurt. So a very likely and common scenario is, well, I've always been hurt by all the men in my life, may even go all the way back to, the father not being present or leaving early when they were young or being emotionally, not present. And so, women learn at a very early age that they can't trust men. And if they get too close to men, they're going to get hurt. So rather than choosing guy A over here, who is somebody who actually wants to be with them and, is willing to get close to them, they'll go over here and choose guy B, right? who, is maybe the bad boy and, blah, 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 whatever, but just is absolutely not the right guy to be in a relationship with for any one of a dozen reasons, right? And yet she'll do that. She'll make that choice over and over and over again. And the reason is because she knows that she can never actually have a relationship with the men that she's choosing. And she's doing that because she is trying to avoid, getting hurt again. It's sometimes also a fear of committing. What would happen if I allowed myself to really open my heart to somebody, right? Well, no, that's scary. Don't want to do that. So I'll just choose this guy over here who that's just never going to happen with, right? So the second one is you're unconsciously self-sabotaging. And that is a pattern I see very, very frequently. Number 3 is not trusting your intuition. This is an interesting one too. I think women have a superpower, and there's one of their superpowers is their amazing ability to tap into their intuition. Now, we all have intuition. Men have it too. We tend to call it more of our gut feeling. But it has been my experience in this lifetime that women can tap into it easier than men can. It just kind of comes naturally for them. And a lot of women will tell me that, when they're still pre-menopause and they're still having cycles, that when they go into the bleeding stage of their cycle, that they go very inward and they're really in touch at a deeper level with their intuition. And so I think it just comes a little bit more naturally for women than it does for men. The problem, however, is when dating and trying to pick the right man, a lot of these women will get intuitive hits about yes or no. But then their conscious mind comes in and overrides it all and says, well, yeah, I know I was kind of feeling this, but he's got this or that or the other thing. And they just overrule their intuition and don't pay any attention to it. And then they end up repeating the same pattern over and over again of picking the wrong guy. I think it's really important for women to tap into their intuition and to really trust it. When they get, a real intuitive hit, to trust it and go with it. Now, that of course assumes that you've practiced enough listening to your intuition that you can trust it. Because I have had quite a few women say, oh no, my intuition tells me this. And then they make a rash decision and then it ends up being completely wrong. And then they're like, but really I had this intuition. The problem is it wasn't really intuition. It was again mind coming in and pretending to be intuition, right? And giving them false messages. So you have to really work on learning to trust your intuition. And that comes from getting clear, really clear. What is genuine intuition versus what is my monkey mind, right? And that does take some practice. Number 4, compromising your values. This is another thing that I will often see. Women are tired of dating. They're getting frustrated. They find a guy that's kind of almost what they're looking for, and they just compromise something that's really important to them. Well, the problem with that is, of course, down the road, this will always resurface, and eventually it will probably end up ending the relationship. And then you go, man, there was another guy that just wasn't right. And here I am 2.5 years later, right? And it's really because you compromised your values. And had you, again, been honest with yourself and said right from the beginning, there's something here that really isn't in line with my values, and therefore I should not pursue this any further, you could have avoided it. And number 5, bad boy syndrome. Yeah, that's what I call it. Bad boy syndrome. So many women are attracted to the bad boy only to find out that he treats her like shit and is a terrible partner. I've done other videos on this. I was even speaking about this recently on a summit. Why is it that she always chooses the bad boy? Well, the quick explanation for that is the bad boy has some classically masculine traits that are very attractive to women. He tends to be strong. He's a leader. He takes charge. He knows what he wants. right? So those are some things that are really attractive to most women. However, he also comes with a whole bunch of other things, like he can't commit, he's not faithful, he's a bad communicator, he doesn't tell the truth a lot, he treats her poorly, and all those kinds of things. And inevitably, those things, override the attractive qualities, and the relationship ends. It either ends because she gets tired of it, or it ends because he's just like on to the next woman. So don't fall for bad boy syndrome. And again, there's no reason why you need to compromise here. You can find a man who has those classically masculine traits, but who also has all of the other new skills that are required of a man in today's day and age, such as he has emotional maturity. He's in touch with his emotions, but he also knows how to control his emotions. He's a good communicator. He takes your needs into account while also being strong, knowing what he wants, being a good leader, taking charge, all of those things. You can find men who have them all. It might be a few less to choose from, but quality over quantity. And the last one, number 6, you haven't healed your own wounds yet. This is another big one. We all end up with, trauma and wounds and scars from life. Like, life is challenging. Life is difficult. It may have come when we were very young from, family type stuff. We may have attachment issues. It may come from, early relationships we had when we were really young, where we were hurt or traumatized in some way, or maybe there was some abuse there. It doesn't really matter. We all have our own stuff. Like, they say nobody gets out alive, but nobody gets out unscathed either, right? It's like there's no way that you can make it through a significant number of years in life without developing some stuff, some baggage, as we call it, right? And so that stuff can really get in the way and prevent you from being able to choose somebody who is really right for you. So one of the things that you need to do is you have to really work on identifying where your stuff is, right? And once you understand that, then you can start working towards healing it. And once you can heal it, you will make much better decisions on partners. And you will have much better relationships. Your relationships will be smoother. They will be healthier. Your sex life will be better. Just everything about it will be better. And just remember, practically everything is an inside job. And it starts with you. It starts right in here. So you got to identify the places within you that need healing, and you got to work on healing them. So there you go. Those are some of the most common reasons that I see for women continuously choosing the wrong man. Which ones have you seen? Which patterns have you seen that you do? I'd love to know in the comments. And also, let me know if you've overcome those patterns, how you were able to do it. Would love to hear that. And as usual, if you want to know more about my work, please go to my website at kevinanthonycoaching.com/link in bio. There you can find links to all of the things that I am doing, from my coaching programs to recent media appearances, to products that I sell, my podcast, my YouTube channel, blog articles, and more. It is all right there.